skills. What is professional skills all about? And, why are we here for the session? Professional skills is basically, having the essential qualities that is required to staying ahead in what we do. Now, each and every one of us might have different talents, right? Some people may be, good in singing. Some people may be good in dancing. Some people may be, a stand-up comic. So you might have different qualities of yourself, different passions that you may have. Now there are ways to exhibit this passion. It's not, I'm sorry, it's not only enough to be, to have that passion or to excel at it, but you also need to know how you can showcase that to the world out there. And that's what professional skills is all about. How do you showcase your talent in the best way possible? You all might have attended workshops earlier on IoT, on blockchain, on security, etc. And over there, you explored different career paths. But exploring career paths is not the only thing that is required right now or that is essential right now. You also need to know how to present that career path when you want to showcase your talent. Say, I know dancing, but if I want to take dancing as a profession, I need to know how to go about it. How can I show that I am an expert dancer? Or how can I show that I'm an expert in art or craft or anything of that sort? So, whatever profession you have, there is a way to showcase it, and that's what professional skills is all about. It's all about speaking up, it's all about expressing well, and about spontaneity at that particular point when you want to showcase your talent. Now, without further ado, I'd like to move on. So I'm going to start off the workshop with something that would take us and bring our minds back, because I'm pretty sure every one of you are stuck at home right now, and I understand how, stressful that can be. Because even I'm going through the same thing. There was a time where I'd like to walk around and, roam the world or roam around Chennai and all that. But now, being stuck at home, I feel like I sometimes feel claustrophobic as well. So it's essential that you bring yourself back, you bring your focus back from that stressful situation. So we're going to do a small activity. I'm sorry, I forgot to switch on my video. Okay, there I am. So this activity is simple. What you need to do is, if you're on your phone or on your laptop right now, just keep it somewhere that where it's comfortable so that you can hear me, and ensure that you're comfortably seated and your hands are free. That's all we need right now. So I'm just going to give you 2 seconds to probably keep your laptop or phone in a place where you can hear me, and leave your hands and be seated comfortably. Okay, I'm giving you some time. All right. So I hope you're all seated comfortably. What we will have to do now is simple. Let's spread our hand out like a star. A star. This is the star which we're talking about. So we can all spread our hands out and use our index finger to trace our hand. Now we'll need to do this activity with our eyes closed. So let's all close our eyes, and with our index finger, trace your hand up. Can you see my video now?
Shruti, if you are enacting, we are not able to see videos are.
Okay, that's weird because I switched on my video.
Yeah, okay. I can see the video.
Okay, then my problem is next.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for that. Okay, as I was saying, let's all spread our hand out like a star, and let's trace our hand slowly. So while tracing your hand and closing your eyes, when you trace it up, breathe in. And when you're tracing out, tracing it down, breathe out. Now the same way till your little finger. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now let's trace our hand back Breathe in, breathe out. 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 Now slowly open your eyes. Okay, I hope that has, brought your focus back. And that was just a small exercise to bring your minds, keep your minds fresh for the session. You can practice this at your home as well when you feel stressed or when you want to bring your focus back or when you want to bring some thoughts into your head as well. This is just something that would relieve stress as such. Okay, so moving on to the topic of the session, professional skills. Now, what's one important aspect about professional skills? It's people. It's you, it's me, it's all of us around. Humans, of course. I mean, we cannot have professional skills with animals, or maybe, but we need to have professional skills with people and how we behave with each other, right? So, what are professional skills? It's basically the skills we use every day to communicate and interact with people. Now, if you see on the site, I have mentioned some top skills as such. You can be positive when you talk to people, or you may be negative, or you may actively listen while you're talking to that person, or sometimes you may not be listening at all, or you may work with a team as a team, or you would like to work individually. Each and every person has all these skills which I've mentioned over here. You have that in your values, you have that as your principle. But sometimes, since everyone is different, you may have it more, you may not have that, or you may have it less, or you might not even realize that you have it because you've not had a chance to showcase that. So there can be different instances, but I'm pretty sure everyone in this session who have attended today has all these skills. But it just takes us some time to hone them, that is to make them better, to present ourselves better. Now, since we already have all of these skills, why do we have to attend a session and understand all about this? Simple. We all know that we have this, but as humans, we need a constant reminder or constant to be on track. We need to ensure that to remind ourselves that, see, we have this, we need to hone this. Because at times we may forget. Because, for instance, I fought with my friend. I don't want to talk to her. At that point, I probably forget the whole thing about being positive, or actively listening to her side. Okay, right, from or actively listening from our side or from her side. So it can actually be different from person to person or depending on the situation. So the reason we have these skill workshops is to constantly remind you that these are essential, that there may be situations out there where you may lose your cool, where you may have to speak up, even when you're nervous, even when you're anxious. So if you start honing them, if you start preparing yourself right now, when you work in any profession, be it anything, you will ensure, or you will understand that, okay, this is how I should behave. That's why we have people skills. That's people skills or professional skills in a nutshell. Okay, so why do we need them? As I mentioned over there, it helps us to understand people. When we actively listen to people, we understand what they have to say, and we can also put our point forth when we have that. For instance, communication. When we communicate with each other, we are having the ability to understand what they are saying and what we are saying as well. Second, it helps us cooperate. So when we talk to each other, you develop a sense of cooperation. And at that point, even if there be a complex problem, you can easily solve that with active communication and active listening. And last but not the least, also to take charge and lead. Now, if you have all of these skills, it's something that already makes you a leader. If you hone all of this, these are skills, or these are things which are required to take charge and lead. And each one of you has that potential. You just need to take some time to hone them and to develop that so that in every situation possible, you show your best person out. So that's what interpersonal skills and people skills is all about. So let me do a small activity right now on the chat. If you all can take some time to think, I'll give you like 2 or 3 seconds. Think about what is your top skill that you excel in, and what is something that you feel like you want to work on. Now you might feel a bit shy to share what you want to work on, or you can just tell what is your top skill as of now. Now, if you ask me, I think the top skill I have is being empathetic because I can think from another person's standpoint. Or I also have active listening skills because I like to listen to people, I like to talk to people. What are your skills? According to you, what is that? What is something that you think you top at, and what is something that you think you should work on? Think about it. Okay, Mahima says teamwork is something which she has. I'm guessing everything is, all of this is something which they have. Sham says active listening. All right. Can I have a few more? Benisha says openness to feedback. Wow, that's nice. Mayura says friendship. Lingeshwar says how much I eat, I remain slim. Okay. Uh, all right. Lakshmi says active listening. So it does not necessarily have to be the top skills as such. These are just some instances. It can be anything. What is your unique quality? Basically, that's what you can just mention on the chat. Positivity, Tyagarajan says, teamwork, okay, openness to feedback again, communication. So I see a lot of answers on the chat that, see, you have these skills, you know that you are good at it, and probably you may not have some of the rest because that didn't come up on your chat, and you need to work on them a bit or hone them a bit. But how do you start working on all of this? How do you start, you know, getting your skills better? It starts with what you guys did just right now. It starts with thinking. So moving on to thinking. What is thinking, and how can I categorize thinking? What is that, how do I start thinking basically? As you can see on the picture, this is the thinker, a bronze statue that was sculpted back in 1902. It represents a creative person at work. So thinking did not start like yesterday. It started way back. Okay, and everyone thinks, and I think we're all here in such technological advancement because we thought, because we started thinking, right? So thinking can be categorized into two forms. Okay, one is critical thinking, and second is creative thinking. Critical thinking is basically the logical explanation, and you're trying to find out the logical explanation to what you're doing. All right. And creative thinking is thinking out of the box, thinking something new, thinking something that's totally absurd also maybe, right? An example could be, say, I was hungry today for breakfast and I saw food on my table, I should go eat it. This is a rational decision. This is something which we logically think, because I'm hungry, I eat. That's a logical explanation. Thus, it makes it critical thinking. But creative thinking, in fact, could be, I saw a video yesterday of someone making a cake, and that really got me thinking I should make something that's different, something that totally turned my taste buds upside down, and which I can relish while eating than eating normal upma or chapati. I know that has happened with everyone, right? So creative thinking is basically making a new dish out of your creative mind, or out of what someone had mentioned on chat, and adding your own your own perks and creating your own recipe. That is creative thinking. So two types of thinking. Now, since we mentioned about interpersonal skills, it's up to you guys to start thinking, understand yourself, reflect on yourself, and think critically and think creatively. What is something which lacks in me, or what is something that I can hone, or what is something I'm really good at? Use logic behind that. Or if not logic, use a little bit of absurdity as well. Use something that makes you think something out of the box. And trust me, that always works. You need both critical and creative thinking to work hand in hand to develop yourself. And this not necessarily has to apply onto your skill development only. This applies in everything you do, any work you do. Say for a small example as hunger and eating to a complex problem as solving COVID as well. Yes, even to solve COVID, we can apply critical thinking and creative thinking as well. It's two forms that we actively use. I'm sorry, can you hear me now? All right, thank you so much. So that's about critical thinking and creative thinking. We've understood interpersonal skills and what are the top, some of the top skills. We've understood critical thinking and creative thinking and how we should go about, reflecting on ourselves and thinking about ourselves. Uh, Now moving on to a small activity on critical thinking because creative thinking will come in the following slides. All right. Simple. It's a brainstorming activity where you have the following combination of letters represents a sentence from which one vowel has been removed. If you can figure out what that vowel is and reinsert it 11 times in that sentence, you will find out what the sentence is trying to say. Okay, Gokul has guessed the letter E. It's basically the most used vowel. So if people read Sherlock Holmes and if you've seen the Dancing Men story, that's what Sherlock Holmes says as well. E is something that's frequently used in each and every sentence. We know the sentence is like the letter is E, but where do you place the letter 11 times on the particular statement and try to get a meaningful statement or sentence out of it? Very fine. Okay, you're decoding it bit by bit. There is a very fine, but it's not very fine. It's like 1/4% correct. There's still more to do. Exempt. All right, that's a bit close, Benisha. You're a little close. Very fine. Yeah, fine is there. Okay, fine. Very fine. Exemplar. Okay, that's more closer, Benisha. You're getting there. Example, exemplar is the right word. That's one of the complex words in the sentence. Exempt. Okay, so you guys have got very fine, exemplar. I think that three is correct, but it's not very fine and exemplar is correct. Exceed is correct. Yes. All right, you're getting it already. Come on, I need the whole sentence. You need to give me the full statement as such. I'm going to give you another 20 seconds. Exceeds what we expect is correct, but what's the full sentence? It's not very fine. The exemplar is correct. It's something. It's just one more letter that you need to add. Have you added it in 11 places? Okay, so time's up. Benisha and Payal, you guys got it like, towards somewhat close to it. It's every fine exemplar exceeds what we expect. Now, exemplar is basically an example or role model. And every fine role model exceeds what we expect. That's what the statement was trying to say. Yes, Gokul, you're correct. Everyone has got the right answer. Good job, guys. You guys, tried to chunk it. You guys used all your critical thinking capabilities to logically find out a sense and a meaning to this particular statement. And I'm pretty sure everyone's excelling at that. And yeah, you all started thinking. Good job, guys. So moving on. Now you learned. Okay, I'm just gonna check on everyone being on mute. All right, they're on mute. Cool. So we learned how to, we learned what were the top skills. We learned what was the critical thinking and creative thinking bit. Now that you know what you have, what do you have to start working on? One of the aspects which you can work on to hone your skills and something that's important in the world of today is presenting and presenting with purpose. Now, presenting with purpose can be considered from two aspects. One presenting while you're communicating, that's while you're talking, like how I am talking right now, and presenting while you're listening. All right, that is being presentable, being there, and focusing on it. Let's start off with presenting when you're listening. When you listen, sometimes there is a chance where you're interested in the topic, you're all ears, like you are right now. I'm hoping you are. You probably will be listening to whatever I am saying, and you're understanding that, you're processing that, you're storing that, and you're good to go. But there can be a chance where you're out of focus, or you really aren't interested in the session, or you're bored, or you're distracted. There can be several reasons to why you may not listen at that point as well. And let me take one instance saying you're distracted. You think, okay, Avengers is being played on Amazon. I think I should watch that, or I should probably watch the Joker. There can be several thoughts that come in your mind. So, when you're presenting yourself at that point, when you didn't hear, it can be okay. I see a chat saying that my voice is breaking. Okay, cool. So there can be a chance where you are distracted, and at that point, is it okay to say or to ask that person, I really didn't get what you're trying to say, but can you please repeat, or can you please explain that once again? Do you think that might offend people, or do you think that might sort of give you a weird look, saying, "Dude, I've been talking all this while. You should be listening, right?" Is that right? Is that okay? According to me and according to many people out there, many experts out there, it's totally fine to explain or to let people know that you didn't understand when you are listening. Because let's face it, if you don't know something fully towards the end, when you are being questioned or when you are being asked an opinion, you really don't want to be the person who says, I actually didn't listen what you said. Can you repeat the whole thing all over again? It's better to cut the person and say that, see, I'm losing my focus, or I really think I'm distracted. I need to move on to another topic, or I need you to explain that to me again. Be it wherever, it's essential that you voice that opinion out, because if not, and if you keep, locking that inside yourself, it can be a little difficult for you to process whatever information that was being told to you towards the future. So that's one part about listening. Another part is presenting yourself. When you present yourself, when you talk to people, when you're talking to your friends, when you're talking to your teacher, when you're talking to your parents, wherever it be, present yourself with purpose. Ensure that when you're talking to them, you know what you're talking about. Okay, a clear, concise statement. Now, this excludes the fact where you playfully talk to your friends, or you probably create a weird code language, or you're talking about what's going on with this actor or that actor. All of this at that point does not make sense. What I am talking about is when you're presenting something serious and something which you want people to hear, that time you'll need to ensure that you're being clear and concise into what you want to say, and deliver that with confidence. Yes, there may be a chance where there are butterflies in your stomach, or you might feel anxious or nervous, but work on it. Take your time. Like what I do before the session, I was literally talking to myself in the mirror, which was in my room. And my mom told me, why are you doing that? Why are you even talking to the mirror? I said, no, I want to present myself once again, just to be confident while I'm talking to you guys, so that I present a great session. So this is just one idea. Like there are several ideas to ensure that you present better. So, and ensure that while you're presenting, you make a clear, concise purpose statement, and you deliver that with confidence. Because as you do it, your confidence level increases, and when you have to do that on the D day, on the presentation day, everything goes well. So this is about presenting yourself. Okay. Next is about collaborating effectively. Uh, okay. Again, I got a statement saying my voice is breaking up. All right. Cool.
Actually, it's not Shruti. I think it's okay, and most of us are not feeling that.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll just move on then. So we learned about interpersonal skills. What are the soft skills? We learned about critically thinking about them and creatively thinking about them. And then moving on, we're presenting with purpose. That is how we should actively listen and how we should actively present ourselves while we talk as well. Now we've gone through all these 3 points. The last, no, sorry, not the last, one more effective point is collaborating effectively. That is working together as a team. This is something that is a core, core quality which everyone needs to have, especially today, is because we have people all around us. Wherever we go, be it in the classroom we're sitting in or in the place where we're working outside, there will always be an instance where you work together as a team, right? So at that point, how do you tackle that? How do you work together and collaborate effectively? Bring out a solution to any problem or any situation you are given. Uh, and the first thing is when you're working together as a team, there can be mixed group of people. You might, for instance, in school, you might have your friends in your group. You might have people who you may not like so much in a group. You may have someone who you've not spoken to at all in a group. Now, when you're there in that group, it's essential first thing to give everyone a chance to actively talk and you listen to everyone as well. Just a minute. Okay, you to actively talk and you listen to them as well. Because when you give a chance to a person to talk, they actually feel valued, first thing. And second thing, they know that, okay, fine, you are talking to me. This means that, I should give her a chance to talk as well. So they will give you a chance to talk automatically without even thinking about, the fact that they don't know you or they may not like you or any other situation. So it's first things first, ensure that you give everyone a chance to talk. And second, when you're talking, you might have opinions and ideas which may not be the same way, which may clash, and which may lead to a misunderstanding or miscommunication. So it's essential that you clear that up while working together. Give it some time to process it. Ask everyone's opinion, call for a vote, ask if people are okay with that particular opinion or situation or no, and then move on accordingly. That's how it works. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to test and see how you all can collaborate effectively. This activity is going to take a minute. So I'm going to keep a statement. Okay. I need to give a statement, you guys. Oh my God. This session is. Okay, I'm going to give you an incomplete sentence on the chat right now. What you need to do, as in anyone on the chat, you'll need to look at that sentence and probably add a few more words to create logic or to make it a meaningful sentence. Now, if one person has done that, the next person can do another follow up by creating the person's statement. So if I say, "Oh my God, this session is really good," another person can say that it actually made me think about. Another person can say the ways to think, which is critical thinking and creative thinking. And then another person can say another sentence which will make it a meaningful statement. Also, in the end, I'm trying to see if we can make a huge, meaningful paragraph out of it. Okay, so that's the activity. I hope you're all ready. I know this can cause an overlap as such, so it's not, that's okay. I'm not looking at a big paragraph, but let's all create or copy other statements and make a meaningful statement out of it. That's how we're trying to collaborate effectively, especially when we're virtual today. Okay, so I pasted the statement and I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to create a meaningful statement out of it. So the statement is, "Oh my God, this session is," and I'm going to see what is going to come out of that. Crossing my fingers. So when you're typing the statement, mention, "Oh my God, this session is interesting and useful." So type it wholly. That's what we're looking at.
It just keep adding to the session, the line. So, oh my God, the session is extremely good and interesting. Someone said, great to learn new things. So, what would be the next sentence? Just keep adding to it. Huh?
All right, I've got a lot of answers. Oh my God, this session is incredible, awesome, informative, useful, good, fabulous. God, that's a huge sentence. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of sentences coming up now. I think you're getting the basic idea of collaborating effectively and working together as a team. And no matter where it be, you can still effectively collaborate as well, right? So moving on to the next slide. Thank you so much for the effective collaboration you guys have showcased right now. Next, most important and very important thing which we're using right now, that's called design thinking. Now, this concept may be new to some people. Some people may have heard of it already, but what we're trying to see is, another way of trying to see how we can solve our problems and how we can relate that to our lives to the maximum way possible. Now, what is design thinking? Design thinking is basically the mindset that aims to improve the situation of people through the experiences they have. And it also considers the person's experience in order to focus on their needs. Okay? I'll give you a small situation of what happened to me personally. Yesterday was my mother's birthday, and we ordered from McDonald's. Yes, I know COVID situation, you're not supposed to place orders, but it's McDonald's. I love McDonald's. Okay, so we placed an order on Zomato, and what happened was at that point they missed a burger, and the food wasn't that great, and we had a really bad experience. Okay, so this is an experience which I faced. Now, how can I use design thinking to improve the experience that I have? Now, you as people who have attended the session so far, you've used critical thinking and creative thinking. You know how to collaborate effectively. What do you think might have been the issues which I might have observed? So I know that I've had a bad experience. There was a burger missing. My food was not that great. What could have been the problem according to you all? If you can mention that on the chat, please. That is your problems, or they were understaffed. Okay, who was understaffed? Was Zomato understaffed, or was McDonald's understaffed? Okay, anyone could have been understaffed. All right, that's one. Someone stole. Okay, that could have been an issue. New staff. Yes, there was employment. What do you mean by employment, Nandita? If you can explain that on the chat as well, please. New staff. Okay, there's new staff. They might have forgotten. There's not fresh food. Bad chef. Yeah, there can be several problems. And these are several problems which we are thinking right now, which we are observing right now. And now, what do you think could have made my experience better? Now, I know I've gone through a bad experience. I could have had better food, and I could have had all my burgers there, and I could have had a dip for my nuggets, which was also missing. What do you think could have made my experience better? Give me a solution. Better service, not to order food. Okay, cook my food at home. All right, Varun, that was a bit straight. What else could have improved my experience as such? Tasty food, call and complain, yes. Ask for a discount, okay. The delivery guy would have given the burger to a beggar, but okay, fine. Giving feedback, complain, all right. So most of you are saying give feedback and tell them that, see, this is the experience I had and you need to do something about it. Now, what did we do right now? We observed a particular problem from the point of view of the user. That was me. I was the one who had this experience, and you guys thought from my standpoint. I mean, did you guys think from my first standpoint? Yes, you did. And you saw that, okay, this could have been the issue because of which I received or I got an experience like this. Now that's what design thinking is all about. Okay. What we do is first we observe the particular problem. As you can see the loop over here, we are restlessly reinventing. We're restlessly creating newer and newer solutions to any problem we have. First, we observe. Another example which I can give is our situation right now. That is, we're in the COVID situation. We're all stuck at home, and we'd like to go out somehow, right? So, what can I do to create an environment of outside in my home to have a better experience? First, you observe yourself. Observe what is it that's creating this sort of thing at home. Are you sleeping all the time? Are you having enough activity? Are you running around? Are you playing? There can be several situations, right? So first, observe that. That's the first side of the loop. Second, reflect on them. Okay, I've noticed that I don't have much activity. How can I create, like, what can I do to probably increase my activity at home? Maybe before breakfast, I do a small workout, or I start off with yoga. Then I take a breakfast, or probably from my schedule when I wake up in the morning to the time I sleep, I need to insert some sort of activities in the middle so that I have a better active work style at home, rather so that I don't miss outside. Reflect on these aspects. All right. So first you've observed, you've reflected, and then make that solution or make that particular thing happen. So now I know that I have to insert it. Let me stick to my schedule. I might not stick to it. Let me create a timetable. Say that I want to insert this activities in the middle of my schedule, and then after that have that thing and stick to that. Probably tell my mom, see, I'm going to stick to the schedule. I want you to keep tab of it, and if I don't, probably point that out to me, or just tell me that, see, you're not sticking to it. Probably keep a star board saying that, okay, I've stuck to this task, or I've not stuck to this task. Motivate yourself in every way. So this is how you make the solution. That's about restlessly reinventing. And this is just one aspect of design thinking. Design thinking has a lot of aspects, a lot of ways to think. I'm just picking two aspects for you today just to sort of relate to it. Okay. One is restlessly reinvent, and I've given you an example of how you can restlessly reinvent as well. And second thing is being a diverse, empowered team. Now, what is diverse, empowered team? It is all of us that are there on the session right now. You might have different age groups on this session, age groups from 12 to 17 years. We might have people who have different ideas, people who have different passions, people from different countries, different states. So a diverse, empowered team is basically a team which has different people. Now, why do we need to have different people? Because if we have different people, it will actually bring in a newer thought process to the particular thing I am working on. For example, when you if you're planning to create a schedule which will make you more active in the COVID-19 situation at home, you can bring in your mother, you can bring in your sister, you can probably bring in your grandparents as well, and tell them, see, what do you think I should do? Because you might think playing is one of the ways I can probably increase the activity, but your mom might say, I think you should do some yoga, or probably you should help me with the chores at home. So that can be one thought from your mother's side. Or your grandparents might say, to while away time, probably spend a little time with me. Maybe we can play a small game of chess, or an old traditional game, or we can read the newspaper together. Or your sister might say, okay, why don't you play with me? Probably you'll have more fun rather than doing your activity alone. So this is what diverse and empowered team is. Bring in different people to your solutioning process to get different ideas and different aspects of how you can increase the performance of your solution. Okay. So now that I've explained this, I'm going to give you guys a task to do. Okay. Uh, so I'm going to give you guys the chance to annotate, but people who don't receive this option to annotate, I'm going to give you a minute to quickly grab a pen and a paper. Meanwhile, I'll give everyone a chance to annotate as well. Do not start annotating, guys. Do not start annotating yet. Once I give you the access, just wait for a while. One second, guys. Okay, now you have the chance to annotate. What you have to do, please don't scribble. What you have to do is draw a unique lamp. Draw a small lamp, draw a big lamp, draw whatever you want. But draw something that is unique, that is out of the box, and I just like to see how that goes. I'm going to give 2 minutes for this activity. Let me see what kind of unique lamps are there. Okay, I don't see lamps as such. I see boxes and squares. Uh, not seeing any lamps. Draw small lamps, guys, so that it makes it better. Okay, everyone's just scribbling. It's fine. You can take the time to scribble as well. Yes, everything is muddled. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stop the annotation and I'm gonna give you, okay, I'm gonna give you the chance. One sec, don't scribble yet. To, okay, wait. Okay, I'm gonna give you the chance to chat only. I mean, in the thing or on the screen or in the chat box, give me any description of a unique lamp according to you. How do you think a lamp should be according to you? Because the annotation is making everyone scribble from here to there, so I'm going to stop the annotation. I'm going to see in ideas from the chat. Okay, a genie lamp, fine. A lamp that gives light, yeah, that's what a lamp does. But how can you make it unique? How can you make it different? A moonlight lamp, okay, fine. Any other ways that you can make a lamp? A lamp should be attractive. A lamp that has a camera, all right. A lava lamp, a disco lamp, a solar powered lamp, a hovering lamp. Oh my goodness, a lamp that gives light forever. A robot lamp, a lamp, a music lamp, a lucky lamp. So, see, we have so many ideas, so many ways to think of how a lamp that is as simple as a lamp can be, right? So, that's what design thinking, and this is an example of diverse and empowered team. Okay, we've brought in so many people who are there on this session right now, and we've asked you guys to think about a lamp and how you can actually see on the chat how many ideas are coming up. And this is the reason if we involve diverse and empowered teams, that is people from different works or different people as such, we can have a totally different solutions to anything small as a lamp, that is. A lamp that gives you solution to your problems. See, that's what a lamp can do anything. And again, as I mentioned in the earlier sessions, this is how you're using creative thinking. You're bringing in something that may not be possible. That's something that's totally out of the box, but it is possible in your thoughts. So this is how you creatively think and involve people who are, from different phases of life to just to bring in something that's unique even in a lamp. All right, thank you so much for your answers, guys. I'm just going to move on to the last topic, but not the least topic of the day, that is Agile. Now, I'm pretty sure your parents in their calls or while they're working at home might have used these terms as such, saying Agile or I should do this work or this software development and all that. I'm not sure if everyone knows what this Agile is about in the session, but just to give you a brief overview, what Agile is actually. In one statement, Agile means how do I get better? Okay, it revolves around iterative process, continuous improvement, and collaborating with others. Now, what I'm going to do is probably like okay. Let me give you an example. Um, how can I start? Okay. As I mentioned the earlier example of the COVID situation and when you're at home, right? Uh, let me see. Okay. The situation. Okay, fine. Your situation at home, that is when you are at home and you're feeling packed and you're claustrophobic. How do you think you can make that better with one thought? And I'm going to stick to one process, that is when you're sleeping. When from the time you sleep to the time you wake up, what is one thing which you can change, or what is one thing where you can involve some activity in it? How, any ideas? And let's all stay on mute. Maybe. You can dream. Okay, fine. That's one way of thinking it. You can imagine. You can cook when you're sleeping. Okay, you're thinking of different ways. Fine. Okay, you've told one way, all right, that you've from the time you sleep to the time you wake up. Maybe I can cook, I can sleep, eat, I can dream, I can do a lot of different things from the time I sleep to the time I wake up to make myself active, to make watch, read, play, and all that. Okay. Now another, I'm gonna repeat the same question again. Okay, but this time I want you to think differently. From the time you sleep to the time you wake up, what is something that you can do to change? You've given me one answer. Give me another answer. Creative timetable, watch TV, sleep, walk. Okay, all right. Any other this thing? Something else. Think of the same process again. You're sleeping, you're waking up. What can you do? You can dance, you can read a book, you can learn new languages. All right, it's still out of the box. So, any other things? Watch a movie, fine. Play a guitar, read and dance. Go through Insta, okay. Just sleep peacefully without any interruption. I love to do that. Train your brain, be creative, learn an alien language. I love the alien languages. Learn music, Facebook. Okay, so another thought, you gave it some time. Thought the same process again from the time you sleep to the time you wake up, and you came up with another solution, right? Now this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you uh, 2 seconds, sorry, 5 seconds to think about the same process again, and then I want you to give me another answer. Okay, 5 seconds. Think about it. Don't tell anything on the chat. Think about, visualize your situation from the time you sleep to the time you wake up, and think about something new that you can do in while you're sleeping to the time you wake up. 5 seconds to think, guys. Okay, go. Dance again. Grow an orange plant. Okay. Make a rule for the world. That's great. Doing paper crafts, learn a new skill, apply henna on my hair so that I have a lovely hair next day. Good. Really good thought. Affection with dad. Great. Plan for the next day. Breathe. Become a pro gamer. Read, fight, and make the world free from corona. Control the snoring and set a wake up time in mind. Going in a time machine. Wow. Write a book by sleeping on laptop. See, so what did we do right now? We thought of the same process, right? From the time we slept to the time we woke up. I gave you the same process 3 times. When the same 3 times when I gave you the process, you thought of something new every single time. The first time you said something, second time you said something else, third time you said another thing. And you collaborated with others. You saw the answers which were there on the chat, and that might have triggered another idea in you. Some person said, talk to aliens. Another person said, go to the time machine. And another person said, apply henna. So when you're reading the chat, you're collaborating, you're thinking of people, another person's opinion. You are continuously improving because you're thinking of something new, and you're repeating the same process again and again in your head to bring out a completely new situation. Now, this is a small example of what Agile is all about. How do you get better? Through iterative process, continuous improvement, and collaborating with others on a daily process. That's what we also do when we have problems at work. We use Agile. So instead of perfection in the first try, because there can be totally different opinions as well. I mean, it's impossible to probably talk to an alien because we don't even know if aliens are there or not. So it is not perfect. It's not something that is logical, but it is better to deliver at that point when it's told, because as and when you think of different situations or different solutions, you will continuously improve. You will continuously evolve into a better and you will continuously create a better solution. And that is what Agile is all about. Now, I've given you an explanation about Agile. I've given you an activity to relate to that explanation. Now, I have a task for you guys. And with this, I'm going to close the session and leave it to people who have questions. One project which I would like you guys to take if you have the time is trying to bring in Agile, that is the way how I gave you as an example the thought process, into the work you do right now. What, according to you, use critical thinking, use creative thinking. What is one boring task you would like to transform at school or at home, you because you're at home right now, using Agile, using this creative process, using the iterative process and continuous improvement and working together as a team, what is one task you would like to change? For example, homework. Okay, I see homework. For me, I would say I was once the board monitor or the monitor at school, and what happened was I had to find out people who keep talking, right? So what I did instead of doing the same, pointing out people and saying that okay, you're talking, what I thought was I would pick out a person who spoke, make that person stand, and I sit and my work is done. Now that person's the assistant class monitor, and he will have to spot another person who's talking. Now this cycle would go on in a way where everyone at least maintains silence, everyone gets a chance to be the class monitor, and everyone's standing up, or the whole thing gets on a process, and I am also free. So this is one way which I thought I could have used Agile when I was in school, and I really did. But unknowingly I used Agile. What is something which you would like to do, or what you would like to change? I'd like you to first think about it, use critical thinking and creative thinking, and then come up with a solution and take this probably as a task. I know you don't need to take the whole time for this, but think about it. And this is something which I'd like to leave with you guys. And I hope you all had a great session. Thank you so much. You've been a really great audience, and a very silent audience as well. If you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions, or how was the session, how was the feedback, was I good, was I bad, you can share that on the chat as well. Till then, this is Shruti signing off. Thank you so much, and I will uh, stop sharing to actually share in a few links. I will stop sharing the stop recording.